I'd like to thank Satya and this whole event organizers for giving me this opportunity. To me, this concept of industry and universities coming together to innovate is it's a very important part of the life of the company I work for. I don't know how many of you have heard of Lycos. It used to be an old search engine back in the day, and I represent that company today. If you think about Lycos, for people who've looked at how search engines actually evolved, how the problem of searching for a website was solved brilliantly by this researcher at Carnegie Mellon University. His name is Dr. Michael Molden. He actually came up with a text-based search. It was first of its kind, and it was funded by the federal government at that time. And once it came to a point, why I'm talking about this is this gives you a sense. I think if we are universities here, we could use some of these ideas that worldwide people are using. And, for example, Israel is doing a lot of work in a similar line. So they actually funded this gentleman. He worked on it, and he came up with this solution for searching for websites in a very quick and easy way where you type text and you get results. Today it looks like, that's what Google does, but this was before Google. And in fact, we have 22 patents that Lycos owns even today about search. And once he got to a point where the solution was viable, he didn't go out and start a company. He said, yeah, this is wonderful. I'm good at what I do. I can solve problems. But taking it and making it commercial is not my cup of tea. He was a postdoctoral student at Carnegie Mellon. And he approached the university. The university had, I think, the technology transfer department or something to that effect. I think that's something we should look at as universities. Once our researchers come up with solutions, how do we take that and actually find people in the industry who can solve it? And there's a lot of euphoria about startups. I'm sorry, I'm the first one to say that today. There's a lot of kids coming out and saying, okay, I'm going to do a startup and do something, and all they're interested in is raising some fund and using it up. So that's also not good. The euphoria is good, but to an extent. And there is a period, it takes time to solve complex problems. You can't just overnight come up with solutions. And there is some amount of depth of understanding of science and technology that one needs to have to solve. And this was a postdoctoral student who came up with this solution. He went to his university and said, I can't commercialize this. He told his professor, he said, boss, let's find somebody. And they put this out. And CMGI picked this. They came and, I think, funded $2 million for this. Then they found a CEO, Bob Davis, who was the hotshot CEO from Boston. And there was this a typical conflict between industry and universities that happened. He was saying, I want the solution tomorrow. And the guy from the university is saying, let me sort out to the point where it's completely usable. What is it that you exactly need? And that was brought together. And one other thing was these guys wanted to have it in Boston, while the researchers wanted to have it in Pittsburgh, all those small nuances and small challenges that they had. But net, that became a wonderful solution that came out. And in 94, I think this was done. By 99, it was already listed on NASDAQ because it took the right steps to get there. And it was the most visited site in 1999. Subsequent to that, a lot of things happened. And somebody like us from India were able to buy it in 2010. And now we're trying to bring back the old glory back to the same brand. In fact, Michael, I met him after that. We got him on our board as an independent director for a period of time. I've also met with Bob Davis to understand what was it that was going on. It's very simple. The problem had to be identified at a global level or local level, like in this case, we're talking about India alone, and then come up with some solution that is deep. Like today, I think Mr. Mohan Reddy was talking about do some deep learning, do some deep technology-based solutions for this. So from that perspective, okay, now coming to your question, Ajit, what is it that I'm looking from the universities? Or what is it like companies like ours are looking from the universities? Give us good students to start with. Extremely good students who have their fundamentals right. and not chasing the next funding or trying to find the hottest new things to do, as opposed to have your basics right. That's the period, especially undergrads, I think. That's the period where you need to have very solid fundamentals. The second thing we're looking for from the more research-oriented part of the group, of the universities, from either the professors or the doctorate students, is to give us solutions that, I know it's not a very fast process, they need time, but there is, like anything else in the world today, you need to market yourselves. You need to tell us what you're doing, and if it makes sense for us to pick it up. If you do it in your own silos and expect the industry to go pick it up, some of us do, some of us don't, and I know people who do benefit out of it. So I think that's one big point I want to make with respect to the universities. What can we give to the universities? A lot. People who have worked across the world. Today, Lycos is listed on NSE and BSE in India. We're a 2,500 crore company. We're in 24 countries. I can get people. I have a big team in Israel, by the way, in Herzliya. We have a large team in Argentina. We can get people from around the world. We have access that can come and help the students, give perspectives. We can teach at least a class. I think somebody was suggesting that in the previous. We can actually come in and talk about what's going on in terms of trends. I don't want to talk about it today because you all know what's going on in the world. So I don't want to talk about IoT, or I don't want to talk about connected world. I think it's happening, and we are all part of this big change. What the industry can do, provided that there is a slot, there is a way for the universities and the industry to connect, and the industry experts can talk about things that are actual problems that they're facing, and the universities can actually pick it up. It's as simple as that. I think I don't see anything beyond that. Thank you very much.